somewhat eastern Jefferson County. Hello, Six Flags over Jesus. Oh my Lord.
The state approved $110 million in loans to pay for delays associated with the project. That's it for your distilled rundown of the news out of Frankfort this week. For the Kentucky Public Radio Network, I'm Ryland Barton.
And it is Oaks Day at Churchill Downs, and Monami Girl and Midnight Bazoo are the favorite horses to win in the filly race. As WFPL's Lisa Gillespie reports at the racetrack, the mood is festive, though gusty winds are causing wardrobe malfunctions for many.
It's a humid day at Churchill Downs. It's hard to get from point A to point B. People crowd the concrete, and half the women have close call after close call of what they call a Marilyn Monroe moment. Although hopefully no one's looking.
Weather is hot and sticky, and it feels like it's gonna rain, but it's not.
That was Brooke Foster, a native Louisvillian. She's been here many times before, and this year she chose a dress with lilies on it. It's a low-cut, white fit and flare.
So it looks like lilies on it, so I figured lilies for the Phillies as well.
Candace Hazel from LaGrange wore her large black hat from 8 years ago, the last time she came to Oaks.
This was a last-minute decision we made yesterday because we were watching the weather. We were in Indiana this morning picking up tickets. We didn't want to come if it was going to pour down, so.
She's planning on making bets on 3 horses running in the Kentucky Oaks.
Betting? That's what I like. Biggest part I like of it. I know how to read a program, so I can make an educated bet, if you will. Not that it always works out, but.
Janelle Mumford moved to Louisville in 2014 and has been either to Derby or Oaks every year since.
Of being here, the atmosphere, the people, the clothes, the horses, everything about it. I get the chills. Look at the chills when I think about it.
And indeed, there are goosebumps on her quickly sunburning arm. But what Mumford didn't expect this year is the wind, which is currently clocking in at 14 miles per hour.
I do, and I just told Candace on our walk over here that I'm pulling a Marilyn Monroe on the top half of my dress today.
Ashley Jarrells is having the same problem. She's sipping on the day's official drink, an Oaks Lily made with cranberry juice and vodka. She looks like Marilyn Monroe, even before the wind situation.
Like, well, she's famous, so why not?
I'm Lisa Gillespie at Churchill Downs.
And take lots of hat pins if you're on your way up there. It is 34 notes in the C, a key of C, no sharps, no flats, and it means the next race is about 10 minutes away. You know it as the call to the post. Listener Hannah Zimmerman wanted to know where it came from, so we looked into it as part of our Curious Derby series. Here is WFPL's Laura Ellis.
Steve Buttleman has been the official bugler at Churchill Downs for 23 years.
bugle call in the Army manual, and it's actually called first call in the Army manual. It's really difficult to find any information as to how it became associated with horse racing.
Chris Goodlett is the Director of Curatorial and Educational Affairs for the Kentucky Derby Museum, and he agrees. There are some things we know about the call to the post and some things we just don't.
It's been used with races and at racetracks at least since the 1860s at the Saratoga meet. Maybe not quite clear as to how those came together, but it's been used with racing for a very long time.
In the military, the call's been used sort of like a standby signal. Enlist soldiers or sailors know they have 5 minutes to gather together for morning or evening colors, the ceremony of raising or lowering the flag every day. Steve Bowman wonders whether people in the late 1800s were more likely to have military experience or be around military operations.
So chances are people were more familiar with it. But other than that, it's pure speculation on my part.
So we don't really know. But it could just be that people were used to hearing first call and knew that it meant something important was about to happen. The question for this special Derby edition of Curious Louisville came from Hannah Zimmerman. I'm Laura Ellis, and you can ask your own question at curiouslouisville.org.
Thinking about legacy and having listened to public radio all my life, I think we both thought, what about the future?
I just want to know that this will continue.
My name is Mark Roundtree. My name is Jay Roundtree. Join us. Leave a legacy of
Support for 89.3 WFPL comes from U of L Hospital, where academic physicians and medical scientists strive to pioneer groundbreaking treatments and innovative care. That's the power of you. Details at uoflhospital.org.
Louisville Public Media is proud to announce that your Kentucky Center for Investigative Reporting has received a prestigious Peabody Award. Our multi-platform series and podcast, The Folks Long Con, is one of only 30 Peabody winners nationally for radio's highest honor. You share in this success. Your support made it possible. Learn more and donate at kycir.org.
And good afternoon. You're listening to All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL News Louisville. The latest rounds of talks between the United States and China ended with no agreement on how to cut the trade deficit between the two countries. And it's hard to measure the total cost to society of scammers and family members who prey on the elderly. Journalist Nick Lieber reports a conservative estimate is $37 billion. You're listening to All Things Considered. It's 4:30.
Certain 60s soul icon. For his new music, he's branching out.
I didn't want to be placed in this box and dependent upon it like this Sam Cooke prodigy.
Live from NPR News in Culver City, California, I'm Dwayne Brown. President Trump spoke to some of his most loyal supporters this afternoon at the National Rifle Association's annual gathering in Dallas. It comes just months after the deadly school shooting in Florida that's led to nationwide student walkouts and renewed calls for tougher gun laws. Trump said nothing about new gun control measures, but reiterated his support for allowing trained teachers to carry concealed weapons.
Tragically, as we see, there is no sign more inviting to a mass killer than a sign that declares this school is a gun-free zone. Come and attack us.
Trump also praised his own party, saying the only thing standing between the elimination of the Second Amendment has been conservatives in Congress willing to fight for those rights. The Kansas legislature approved a bill today allowing faith-based adoption agencies to reject same-sex couples as adoptive or foster parents, even if the agencies accept public money. Madeline Fox reports from member station KCUR.
In Kansas, private adoption agencies can choose which families they will or won't serve. For some faith-based agencies, that means turning away same-sex couples, single parents, or families of a different religion. The bill makes sure those agencies can still get state funds for the adoption and foster care placements they do provide. Republican Representative Susan Humphreys says it will keep more adoption agencies in Kansas.
This bill simply ensures that all providers can stay in the field and continue to serve children unafraid of government censorship.
After Michigan passed similar legislation in 2015, the ACLU sued the state for discrimination against same-sex couples. For NPR News, I'm Madeline Fox in Topeka.
Stocks rebounded to finish the trading week higher on Wall Street. The Dow rose 332 points, or more than 1%. This is NPR News.
And you're listening to All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL. All eyes will be on the racetrack for this year's Kentucky Oaks and Derby, but jockeys won't be the only ones riding horses that day. As WFPL's Kaylin Jackson reports, Louisville police
see over the back of Radar. He's an 8-year-old horse who's been with LMPD for nearly 4 years. Officer Justin Hardy is his rider. Hardy's been with LMPD since 2015 and says he always grew up with a passion for both horses and law enforcement. He was able to merge those passions into one job when he joined the mounted unit in 2010. And now, he trains new members how to ride.
It's always a challenge. The horses they have their own minds, and people have their own minds as well, so you've got to kind of join them together and complete the task and the mission.
Hardy says mounted officers have benefits the regular patrol officers don't. They're elevated, so they can see situations better. They can maneuver faster through cars and rough terrain, and the intimidation factor of the horses makes crowd control way easier. His horse Radar is a Percheron thoroughbred cross grafted. These horses are bigger and have more stamina than thoroughbreds, like the ones running in the Derby.
People are out there and they see us and they're like, oh, you have the best job, and we're like, we sure do. We enjoy doing it, and they always come back with the olden days, like in the West, they're like, y'all are like cowboys, but you don't have the long rifles.
Expect to see Radar and Officer Hardy riding around Derby Day patrolling Churchill Downs. Don't expect to see them in spurs and cowboy gear, though. I'm Kayla Jackson in Louisville.
And you can find 89.3. That's your device to play 89.3 WFPL for the latest news from Louisville Public Media. 81 degrees outside, mostly cloudy skies. It's warm and humid today. We're expecting you're listening to All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL. Support for NPR comes from this station and from Atlassian, provider of collaboration software for organizations of all sizes. Through products like Jira Software, Confluence, Trello, and Stride, teams can plan, track, and communicate. More at Atlassian.com. From Fidelity Investments, a personalized approach to helping clients grow, preserve, and manage their wealth. Learn more at Fidelity.com/wealth. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. And from the Annie E. Casey Foundation. On NPR, this is All Things Considered by Marty Cornish and recently. The Americans headed home from China. This is after 2 days of talks aimed at heading off a trade war, but it is not clear the talks succeeded. No deal was reached, which means both sides could go right ahead and throw billions of dollars of tariffs at each other, just as they have both been threatening. NPR's Anthony Kuhn has been covering these talks in Beijing. Hey, Anthony.
Hey there, Mary Louise.
So, no deal. How is each side, the Chinese side and the American side, spending this?
Well, what the Chinese state media are saying is that the two sides had a frank discussion about issues including increasing U.S. exports to China, protecting intellectual property, and it said there is still a big gap between the two sides and a lot more talks are needed. And the U.S. delegation left town here without saying a word about any outcome, which suggests that no deal was reached at all.
Oh, really? So the U.S. side left with no final statement, no comment?
The U.S. delegation itself had very different views within it. It was led by Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, who are seen as sort of pro-business moderates. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and White House National Trade Council Director Peter Navarro were very tough critics of China and its economic policies.
So divisions within the U.S. camp, sounds like. And you say they left without a word, but we do know what the U.S. position was going in, and that is in part because somebody leaked an official document that outlined the U.S. position. What happened? What did this document say?
This document calls for China to cut its trade surplus with the U.S. by $200 billion within 2 years, by the year 2020. It also says that we, the U.S., are going to restrict China's ability to purchase high-tech products in the U.S., and yet China is not allowed to retaliate or even challenge this move. The U.S. will not allow China to subsidize its own companies to make high-tech products.
Just to remind people of the backdrop for these U.S. demands, the U.S. is accusing China of stealing American technology, of stealing American intellectual property, right?
That's right. So that's why the U.S. wants to hit China with tariffs or ban it from purchasing this advanced technology from the U.S. So China, therefore, figures that if it can't get this stuff from the U.S., it's going to have to start making it itself. so it's devised a policy to do that called Made in China 2025.
Okay, what's the policy?
The key here is that the government can offer subsidies to Chinese companies to develop things like artificial intelligence and self-driving cars and robots. The problem, though, is that when they start offering this free money, companies figure, well, we'll just try to get the subsidies and never mind if anyone wants to buy the products they make. And so they dump this glut of products on world markets. It crashes prices, and suddenly China becomes the world's largest manufacturer of things like solar panels or steel.
So Anthony, what leverage does the U.S. have in this? If China wants to make its own high-tech products, can the U.S. prevent China from going high-tech?
There are experts who really doubt that any economy can stop another one from catching up with it. They say the only real solution for the U.S. is to become just a more competitive economy, and that means they have to pour more funding into R&D and cutting-edge technology, and that's something that the U.S. has really been falling behind in recently.
Well, so where do we go from here? We're ending the week with no deal, at least publicly announced, on the table. Does the prospect of a U.S.-China trade war become more vivid in the days to come?
Well, without a deal, that raises the possibility somewhat that they might have to resort to tariffs, and nobody really wants a trade war. So the two sides said they will try to set up some sort of mechanism to work harder on this and resolve it through negotiations.
We avoided a deadly car wreck right here today. Yes, avoided deadly car wreck.
Millions of elderly Americans are financially exploited each year. What's the total cost of that fraud? One estimate, $37 billion a year. According to reporter Nick Leiber,
car wreck at an intersection.
As for every case reported to authorities, as many as 44 are not. He wrote
The
about
day
this
that
report
zero
this
turns to
week.
one,
He joins me
well,
now.
then
Welcome
my
to the
number
program.
stops going down.
Your story.
Because most likely, I will be dead in that process. In which case, you get no more stupid live streams from me, so you should rejoice and be happy if that ever happens. I am so hungry. I skipped lunch today because I got stuck on a bridge that lasted all day long. I was by myself until like 2 o'clock. At that point, I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna go home and throw some taco meat onto something and call it a day. Taco emito. Takaru mitu. All snap. Can I make it? You gotta go. Oh yeah, we're gonna go. Someday I'm not gonna have to drive this way anymore. Probably because I got a job someplace else. I'd be taking a different route. It might be coming up or south, north or south from 65. And I'll always get off on Brooks instead. Oh, got to get Dr. Luke, Powder Luke, Spouter Luke, Chowder Luke. They should cover Outer Loop and Chowder, so maybe I can call it Chowder Loop. Think green. Think green. You'll see why I said that here in a second. You might not really see it. Oh yeah, you'll see it. See, there you go. Driving down the way. So stupido.
Oh, hey, check out. It's white trash, bro.